This 1 Degree Outside video is sponsored by the Topsfield Fair, America's oldest fair. You can pre-order your admission, meal, and ride tickets today at topsfieldfair.org and join the fun October 4th through 14th, conveniently located on Route 1, just off of Interstate 95.
Pattern predictions, the deeper dive into the next 14 days. Matt Noyce, great to be with you. So we're going to talk a little bit about what may change in that 14-day forecast you see from our Noyce's 1 Degree Outside weather app. All right, we'll start with the tropics, though, in insights, and I would encourage you to watch it. It's the deeper dive into the next few days. I talked a lot about this developing storm. It's going to be a tropical storm likely to hit the Gulf of Mexico coastline, the Gulf Coast probably at the end of the week. And I kept saying the future Helene. It's interesting, though. We've got another disturbance out of the north central Atlantic that's trying to develop. You got another one off Africa. It's kind of a race. Whoever develops first gets that name first, then you move on to the next name. But nonetheless, whatever is going to develop in the Gulf of Mexico is going to be something that we'll have to contend with in the Gulf Coast. Some favorability here showing up in red as we get out through the middle portion of the week. And then also still favorable when you get out in the central Atlantic as well. So that's why I say that disturbance off Africa certainly may develop. The one in the north central Atlantic outruns the favorability here over the next couple of days. And then by the time we get, let's say, to the upcoming weekend, next weekend, we're still talking about what's going to end up being at least some favorability down in the tropical Atlantic for development. In terms of us being impacted by that stuff, no, not out of what comes into the Gulf Coast. You can actually see as we get up to the middle of the week, the reason that it's kind of so set that the Gulf Coast will have to deal with something is because a big jet stream level disturbance drops down across the southern United States, turns the winds out of the south and southwest, grabs that storm, brings it into the southeast, but they merge. So the fact that they merge helps us. You see, as we get to the end of this week, Thursday in particular, we've got a northern jet stream disturbance, but once that goes by, these things merging to the south and us having a northwest wind pretty much takes us out of the running on this. So again, we feel pretty confident that the showers are firmly centered on Thursday. There's improvement heading into the weekend, but look at this, a brand new big disturbance that comes down as we get to the middle of next week. See, that's the thing. You're not open to the tropics, but if you're open to Canadian disturbances, they're fast moving and they're intense. When they come in, they bring an increased chance of showers. So middle to end of next week, the reason you see the shower chance increasing is because of this disturbance dropping overhead. What I will say is you get to the middle and end of next weekend, we remain in a northwesterly flow, but it does look like it picks up the pace, which means we don't have the disturbance sitting over us for days on end. So really what's going to change in the latter part of the 14-day for you is going to be what day sees the best chance of scattered showers, but they do look to be showers that would continue to move along. And you can see in terms of the chance of precipitation, there's the spike centered on Thursday. There's the rise toward the end of next week. But again, it becomes more about, because it's a fast northwesterly flow, the timing of those disturbances exactly. One other thing to mention, as we get Canadian disturbances to come in, we go from a surface pattern that by the middle of this week still has a lot of warmth in the nation's midsection to a brand new look. By the time we get to the first day of October, look at this, widespread low temperatures in the 30s and 20s in the northern tier of the United States. That spreads into the northeast by the night of October 3rd, and then really even probably by the 2nd, and then is with you likely for days on end. So it's a shot at kind of this true October air, but it does return you back to what is a little bit more normalcy anyway, in terms of getting the showers kind of come and move along. All right, in terms of temperature, you're near or slightly below normal overall. You got a couple of days that spike up, one of them this Friday when you get behind the showers that come on Thursday. This is so flattering. You guys have said, hey, can you have any swag? We'd love to support you. It's very kind. Swag.1degreeoutside.com if you want to do that and do a little early Christmas shopping. If you need the 14-day for your location, it's easy. Get the app. Noyce's 1 Degree Outside weather on both the App Store and Google Play. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Check back in 1degreeoutside.com or our social media handles, the number 1 Degree Outside, when we have Evening Essentials. It comes out later on to get you all primed up for tomorrow.